The energy inside the Tampa stadium felt different from the moment the lights dimmed. Thousands of armies held their glowing light sticks high above their heads, creating a galaxy of purple that stretched farther than the eye could see. The air buzzed with anticipation, excitement, and the familiar feeling that anything could happen whenever BTS stood on stage. The crowd had already screamed through powerful performances, emotional ballads, and playful interactions. Yet there was a strange electricity building throughout the night, especially whenever Tae Young stepped closer to the edge of the stage with that thoughtful expression in his eyes. He smiled often, but attentive fans noticed something softer hidden beneath it. As the members took a short moment to speak with the audience, laughter echoed through the stadium. Jokes were exchanged. ARMY responded to every word with enthusiastic cheers. Then Taehyung grew quiet. He looked out at the sea of purple. For a few seconds, it seemed as though time itself slowed. His microphone rested near his lips while he searched the crowd before glancing toward the other side of the stage. Jungkook stood there, towel draped around his neck, still catching his breath from the previous performance. He looked relaxed, unaware of the storm about to explode among the fans. Taehyung's smile widened. "You know," he said softly, his voice carrying across the massive stadium, "there are moments during tours when you realize how important certain people become in your life." The crowd erupted immediately. Armies exchanged confused glances. Some screamed. Others clutched their phones tighter. Taehyung laughed shyly at the reaction. "You all always support us," he continued. "You remind us that we are never alone." The members watched him with curious smiles. "And sometimes," he paused again, "there are people beside you who understand things without explanations." The stadium became deafening. Jungkook blinked. "What?" he asked into his own microphone, grinning nervously. The audience lost their minds. Taehyung covered his face briefly, clearly embarrassed by the noise around him. Then he looked toward Jungkook. His expression softened. "This next song," he said carefully. ARMY collectively stopped breathing. "Is for someone precious to me." Screams erupted, so loudly that even the members flinched. Jungkook stared at him. "For you," Taehyung finished with a tiny smile. The cameras immediately found Jungkook's face. His eyes widened. "What are you talking about?" He laughed, turning red. The audience became impossible to control. People jumped from their seats. Some cried. Others shouted both names repeatedly. Taehyung simply chuckled before adjusting his earpiece. The band prepared. The first notes drifted through the stadium like a gentle breeze. Instead of delivering a dramatic announcement or clarifying his words, Taehyung closed his eyes and began to sing. His voice carried warmth. It wrapped around every lyric. There was tenderness hidden inside each note. Fans noticed the way he occasionally glanced toward Jungkook during meaningful lines. They noticed Jungkook's quiet smile. They noticed the members exchanging amused looks as if they had witnessed countless moments like this before. The song wasn't flashy. It didn't rely on complicated choreography or explosive visuals. It was simple, honest, beautiful, and because of that simplicity, it struck directly at people's hearts. Thousands of phones recorded the performance. ARMY sang along softly. Many couldn't stop crying. Jungkook eventually sat near the edge of the stage, listening carefully. Whenever Taehyung looked his way, Jungkook's smile grew brighter. At one point, he pressed a hand against his chest dramatically as if overwhelmed. The crowd screamed again. Taehyung laughed in the middle of singing. The brief interruption made the performance feel even more genuine. There were no perfect rehearsed moments. Only affection, comfort, friendship, years of understanding woven into every glance. As the final chorus approached, the audience raised their light sticks higher. Purple lights swayed together. Voices merged. Taehyung's emotions seemed impossible to hide. He looked around the stadium. "You've all given us memories we'll never forget," he said quietly between verses. His eyes moved toward Jungkook once more. "Thank you for staying beside me." The sentence itself wasn't extraordinary. Yet combined with everything else that had happened, it caused another wave of emotional chaos among fans. Jungkook lowered his head, smiling shyly. When the final note faded into silence, the stadium exploded. Cheers thundered endlessly. Taehyung bowed deeply. Jungkook immediately walked over. "What was that?" he asked through laughter. "You sang well," Taehyung replied innocently. "No, seriously." The members surrounded them. One member dramatically pretended to interview Jungkook. How does it feel receiving a song dedication tonight? I didn't know this was happening. Jungkook protested. ARMY screamed louder. Taehyung couldn't stop laughing. Despite the teasing, there was something undeniably comforting about the interaction. It reflected years spent growing up together. Years filled with exhausting schedules, rehearsals, world tours, setbacks, and triumphs. A relationship built upon trust. Understanding developed through shared experiences few others could comprehend. As the concert continued, fans couldn't stop talking about what had happened. Social media exploded instantly. Clips circulated everywhere. People analyzed expressions. They replayed specific moments repeatedly. Some focused on Taehyung's nervous smile. Others pointed toward Jungkook's genuine reaction. Many simply celebrated witnessing an unexpectedly heartfelt exchange. Back on stage, the members transitioned into brighter songs. The atmosphere became playful again. They splashed water toward the audience, ran across extended platforms, encouraged fans to dance. Jungkook eventually approached Taehyung during one energetic performance. He leaned close enough for nearby cameras to catch his grin. "You really surprised me." Taehyung shrugged. "You deserved it." Jungkook laughed. "What did I do?" "You've worked hard." The answer sounded simple, yet Jungkook's expression softened immediately. Sometimes appreciation didn't require complicated explanations. Sometimes acknowledging someone's presence mattered more than grand speeches. The concert reached its final segment. Exhaustion mixed with happiness. The members gathered together for their ending meant. One by one, they thanked ARMY. They reflected on the memories created throughout the tour. When Taehyung's turn arrived again, the stadium quieted. "I think music becomes meaningful because it connects people," he said. "It reminds us to express gratitude while we still have opportunities." He glanced at the members beside him. "We've spent so much time together." His voice carried emotion. "We've laughed together, struggled together, supported each other." The members nodded. "And I hope all of you also remember to tell the people around you that they're important." ARMY responded with overwhelming cheers. Jungkook looked down briefly before smiling toward the audience. When his turn came, he held his microphone thoughtfully. "Tonight surprised me," he admitted, causing immediate laughter. "But I think," he paused, "we don't always say these things out loud because we're embarrassed." The crowd listened carefully. "So thank you." He looked toward the members. "Thank you for staying with me." Then toward ARMY. "And thank you for staying with us." Many fans wiped tears from their faces. The emotional sincerity transformed the stadium into something more intimate despite its enormous size. It no longer felt like a venue filled with strangers. Instead, it felt like a gathering of people connected through music and shared memories. The members joined hands for their final bow. Purple lights shimmered endlessly. Confetti drifted